So it says, Aaron, did you see Serge's post about doing a live stream with the lawyers regarding Canada? It sounds promising. Oh, it sounds more than promising. So the reason I did my video a couple of days ago, I finally got around to doing my video promoting the Canada video that Liz Gale and Kelly Copter and George Massey put together, is because I knew the lawyers, Kimberly Dagonia and Ann Andrews, their firm is the firm that has stepped up and is taking on these cases. And it would be literally impossible to have a better firm, a better team stepping up to the plate. These people have already taken on the Catholic Church, the Boy Scouts, the Mormon Church. These are the first attorneys taking on this battle who aren't starting out by just asking questions of, what is Scientology? Oh, please explain it to us from the bottom up. These are attorneys who have taken on opponents exponentially more formidable than Scientology. These are attorneys who don't need to have it explained to them why this is something that will work. These guys are in the driver's seat, but Serge is going to be doing a live stream with Kimberly and Ann. There was the Mormon Stories podcast that John DeLynn did with Kimberly Dagonia and Ann Andrews. Mona managed to put Kimberly in touch with Serge, and Kimberly's spoken with a bunch of ex-Scientologists now by this point. So, the May 5th live stream with Serge will basically be the first broad public announcement from Kimberly and Ann about what they're doing, how they're doing it, what they're looking for. As far as I am concerned, how I'm thinking about all this, I feel like having a law firm this qualified, this prepared, this knowledgeable, taking on this cause is something that is so powerful. I truly believe it will pull under the radar Scientologists out from under the radar, because they will have something to go to. They will have something to join. They will have someone prepared to take up their fight. The uphill battle in this community has been trying to find and convince law firms that lawsuits like this are worth investing years and years and years and years of resources into. And it's hard to educate people about this subject in a way that gets them motivated. That type of knowledge and motivation has to come from within. And I have always felt that instead of running around trying to recruit the right people for the job, that eventually with enough information and enough outreach and enough information from enough ex-Scientologists out there broadly enough in the mainstream, someone would come along and be like, oh, I am the right person for the job. And I already know how to do this. And I already see the value. And I don't need the pep talk. I'm the one who gives the pep talks, And this is that firm. Kimberly Dagonia and Ann Andrews are those people. And, for anyone who hasn't yet watched the whole podcast, John DeLynn, Mormon Stories, Kimberly Dagonia, Ann Andrews, I forget the exact title of the video, but if you search those terms, you will find it. For anyone who hasn't watched the whole video, the whole interview, I really, really suggest that you do. I genuinely feel that there's a lot of people in Scientology under the radar who don't actually understand that what has happened to them or their kids or their friends' kids are crimes. Our crimes are illegal. Is child abuse, is sexual abuse, is sex trafficking. And I feel like the SPTV channels will have for the next several years an unbelievably important message and cause that they can hammer home day after day, week after week, month after month, get the word out to as many people who potentially have cases as possible. And that all of these channels doing this just incessantly will, I believe, and I hope, pull under the radar people out to join these lawsuits. Having things within the statute of limitations is going to be vital. If as many of us as possible are working on getting this word out to as many people as possible, ex-Scientologists under the radars, current Scientologists soon to be under the radars, I truly believe this will be what will take Scientology down. This will be one of two major things that will eventually take Scientology down, however you want to define that. Scientology has never had a massive legal judgment against it that stood up. Larry Wollersheim's case against Scientology was the last major judgment against Scientology. At that time, that judgment would have somewhat effectively shut down Scientology. But then the damages were greatly reduced later. And I think it ended up, the decades later when Scientology ended up paying out whatever they owed in the Larry Wollersheim case, maybe it was 10 or 15, 10 million at the most, and all that had been chewed up in fees. I'm aware of one other civil lawsuit that settled for the rumored to be tens of millions of dollars, but you've never seen like $100 million, multi-$100 million, billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar judgment against Scientology. And I believe that when all is said and done in these lawsuits, that the financial damages will be enough to seriously harm, if not destroy, the Church of Scientology. Then you have, okay, what will it take, litigation, prosecution, for Congress to pick up the cause of revoking Scientology's tax-exempt status? And I feel like all these other little things are at least small steps towards that. We'll see, guys. Small steps, properly managing expectations is the winning formula.